3 months, 17 trash can attacks. That's when I stopped playing nice. Tuesday morning, 6:47 a.m. sharp. My Ring camera catches a woman in purple velour creeping toward my driveway. She checks left, checks right, then kicks my 95-gallon bin hard enough to send it flying. Trash explodes across the asphalt, coffee grounds in the gutter, eggshells on my truck. And she's grinning like it's Christmas morning. Fast forward 2 hours. Same woman at our neighborhood block party, clipboard in hand, sweet-talking residents while writing violation tickets for grass half an inch too tall. Patricia Vance, HOA president, untouchable queen of Pine Haven Estates. But here's what Patricia didn't know. I'm a petroleum engineer. We build systems that don't fail. We document everything. And when someone declares war on us, we don't get mad, we get meticulous. Drop your HOA horror story in the comments. I want to hear it. And tell me where you're watching from. Misery loves company. My name is Garrett Hollins, 52, petroleum engineer, 28 years designing pipeline safety systems where one miscalculation means environmental disaster. I'm thorough. My late wife Melissa called it adorably neurotic. Melissa died 14 months before this story. Breast cancer, stage 4. We fought 2 years. She lost on a Tuesday morning. Tuesdays were her favorite. Farmers market days. After the funeral, I couldn't stay in our house. Every room was a ghost. Our kids understood. Simone, 27, Air Force JAG lawyer in Germany. Trevor, 24, solar startup in Colorado. My sister Rochelle, a paralegal in Phoenix, helped me find Pine Haven Estates. Ranch-style home, corner lot, desert landscaping, quiet Arizona suburb, perfect for a grieving engineer who just wanted peace. I was wrong about the peace part. The neighborhood had 340 homes, monthly HOA dues, $285. The CC&Rs, covenants, conditions, and restrictions ran 73 pages. I read every word. Old habits. Most neighbors were good people. Darnell Foster, retired postal worker 3 houses down, waved during my 5:30 a.m. coffee ritual. I'd sit on the porch listening to cactus wrens screaming in the mesquite trees, the smell of creosote hanging heavy after rare desert rain. Darnell walked his dog past every morning, sometimes brought tomatoes, salt of the earth guy. Then there was Patricia Vance, 58, blonde highlights losing the war against dark roots, velour tracksuits in every color, purple, emerald, ruby, knockoff Gucci sunglasses, white Lexus SUV, vanity plate, PRSDNT, HOA president, 3rd term, nobody ran against her. Her husband Eugene was a ghost. Commercial real estate broker, semi-retired, looked exhausted the rare times you saw him. But Patricia, she patrolled every morning, 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. sharp. I'd hear the crunch of gravel under her tires as she slow-rolled past houses hunting violations. Grass too high? Violation. Trash bin visible after pickup? Violation. She carried an actual ruler to measure lawns. Week 3 in my new house. Envelope in my door. Violation notice. Fine, $150. My crime? Unauthorized decorative rock border exceeding 2 inches above grade level. Section 4, 7.3b. The rocks, 3-inch river stones around an agave plant, installed by the previous owner. I walked the neighborhood that evening. 6 homes had identical borders, including Patricia's. I emailed the board. Polite, photos attached. Her reply: previous violations do not excuse new violations. Fine stands. Remove rocks within 10 days or $50 daily penalties. I removed them. Cost me $200 to re-landscape. Swallowed my anger. Then came the trash can. Tuesday morning, 3 weeks later. I was in the shower when I heard the crash, loud enough to rattle windows. Stepped outside in a towel to find my 95-gallon bin tipped over, contents scattered across my driveway and into the street. Banana peels on my truck hood. Coffee grounds soaking into concrete. Weird part? Dead calm morning. Not a breath of wind. 74 degrees, cloudless sky. I spent 30 minutes cleaning up thinking maybe the trash truck clipped it. Missed my coffee ritual. Darnell helped me pick up debris. 3rd house on this block this month, he muttered. Always Tuesday mornings. Always calm weather. Weird, right? I filed it away. Engineers notice patterns. Next Tuesday, set my alarm for 6:30 a.m. Watched from my bedroom window. At 6:47, Patricia's Lexus glided past. Slowed. She looked around. Kept driving. Bin stayed upright. Maybe I was paranoid. The following Tuesday, overslept until 7. Walked outside to another explosion of trash. Eggshells everywhere. Soggy napkins plastered to my mailbox. And there, in spilled coffee grounds, a partial footprint. Women's athletic shoe, size 7 or 8, distinctive waffle tread pattern. The kind of tread you get on expensive running shoes. The kind Patricia wore with her velour tracksuits. I stood there in the morning sun, heat already climbing, staring at that footprint, and I thought, Melissa fought cancer for 2 years without complaining. I'm getting beaten by a woman who kicks trash cans. That's when I decided to fight back. I installed a Ring doorbell camera that weekend. Basic model, $99 at Home Depot. Took me 2 hours to mount it, angle it perfectly to capture the full driveway and street. Engineers don't do half measures. Tuesday morning, 6:47 a.m. exactly. Jackpot. The footage was crystal clear. Patricia parks her Lexus one house down. Walking distance, but out of most camera ranges. Smart. She strolls toward my property in powder blue velour, those ridiculous sunglasses on, even though the sun's barely cresting the mountains. She stops at my bin, looks left, looks right. Theatrical as hell. Then she kicks it. Not a tap. A full-force soccer kick to the base. The bin weighs 40 pounds empty, probably 60 with trash. Takes 3 kicks before it tips. Garbage explodes everywhere. Coffee grounds, eggshells, yesterday's pasta, and she's smiling. Actually grinning like Christmas morning. Walks back to her Lexus, drives home. 90 seconds, door to door. I saved the footage 3 places. Cloud, external hard drive, burned DVD. 28 years in pipeline safety teaches you triple redundancy or you're screwed. That afternoon, I knocked on Patricia's door with my laptop. She answered holding a glass of white wine. It was 3 p.m. I have video of you kicking over my trash can this morning. I turned the screen toward her. Patricia didn't blink, didn't even look. Just sipped her Chardonnay and smiled that smile. That's a serious accusation, Garrett. Timestamps can be altered, and frankly, your bin was 3 inches over the easement line. Section 6.2. I was correcting a violation. The easement is 4 feet from... Are you calling me a liar? Ice in her voice now. I've lived here 9 years. I know every property line, every code. Maybe focus on following rules instead of harassing board members with fake videos. Door closed, right in my face. I stood there, Arizona sun baking the back of my neck, listening to her laugh inside. Phone call. Another whiner who can't handle basic rules. New people are so exhausting. The next day, 3 violation notices appeared in my door. Garage door open past 8 a.m., $100. Irrigation overspray on sidewalk, $150. Navy bedroom curtains instead of beige, $200. Total, $450. I pulled out the CC&Rs that night, all 73 riveting pages, and checked the penalty schedule. First offense violations maxed at $50 each. She'd tripled them because she could. I'd read about this once in a property law forum when I was researching HOAs before buying. Boards that don't follow their own published rules are opening themselves to legal challenges, but most homeowners don't know it. Most just pay and shut up. I wasn't most homeowners. Darnell found me at the fence that evening, his mesquite grill smoking, that smell mixing with chlorine drifting from the community pool 3 houses down. You're on her list now, he said, flipping ribs with the practiced hand of a man who'd grilled through 40 Arizona summers. Last year, the Kowalskis. Their kid played basketball after quiet hours. She fined them until they sold. Polish immigrants. Worked their whole lives for that house. She forced them out. 7 families. 3 years. His knuckles went white on the grill tongs. She's got the only key to the HOA bank account. Eugene rubber stamps whatever she wants. Board meetings happen at 2 p.m. on weekdays when everyone works. Can't attend, can't object, can't vote her out. My sister Rochelle came for dinner that night. I spread the violation notices across the table next to the CC&Rs. These fines don't match the penalty schedule. Paralegal brain, immediate. Probably unenforceable. But court costs more than paying, and she knows that. Classic power move. So I just pay? No. You document everything, every notice, every interaction, every board decision. If she's doing this to you, she's doing it to others. Build the case before you fight it. Paper trails win wars. I started a spreadsheet. Date, violation, fine amount, comparable properties not cited. Next week, I drove the neighborhood with my phone. 9 homes had dark curtains. 12 had garage doors open past 8. Patricia's own sprinklers flooded the sidewalk every Tuesday and Friday like clockwork. I photographed everything. Timestamps, GPS coordinates, comparison shots showing her property violating the same codes she cited me for. And every Tuesday at 6:47 a.m., Patricia kicked my trash can. 4th Tuesday, she waved at the camera before doing it. Opened the lid, rifled through bags, threw my mail into the gutter. Mail tampering is a federal crime. I learned that working a pipeline project near a post office once. Don't mess with the postal service, they don't play. I filed a police report. Officer Gutierrez showed up an hour later. Officer Gutierrez was 35, 15-year veteran, built like he still hit the gym at 5 a.m. He watched my ring footage. Patricia kicking, smiling, scattering my mail. Mr. Hollins, I'll be straight. This is vandalism, trespassing, technically mail tampering. But it's also an HOA dispute. I can file a report, but arrest? Judge will call it civil and tell you to get a lawyer. So nothing happens to her? I didn't say that. He handed me his card. Document everything. Keep recording. She escalates to real threats or damage. Call me directly. My mom lives in an HOA in Scottsdale. President makes her life hell over a bird feeder. I get it. After he left, I opened Facebook and created a private group, Pine Haven Estates Homeowners, Unofficial. Posted one line. New here. Issues with selective violation enforcement. Anyone else? Within 2 days, 73 members. 21% of our neighborhood. That's not complaining. That's a coalition. The stories came fast. Tamara Ochoa got fined $800 for an unapproved play structure, a basic swing set from Home Depot. Patricia made her tear it down. Her kids cried for a week. Brian Whitmore, plumber, cited for parking his work truck overnight. Commercial vehicles prohibited. Eugene's F-150 with company magnets sits in their driveway every single night. Elderly couple, the Fenstermachers, late 70s, fined $1,200 for a dead tree. The tree was dormant, losing leaves like desert trees do. They couldn't afford removal. Patricia put a lien on their house, over a living tree. Darnell, violation for non-conforming mailbox decoration, a 2-inch flag sticker. Patricia's mailbox has custom gold lettering, Vance Estate. I built a spreadsheet, 34 households. 2 years of fines, total collected $47,000. But the community pool pump had been broken 3 months. Median landscaping was dying, and nobody had seen financial records in years. 340 homes times $285 monthly dues. That's $1.16 million annually. Where was it going? I'd seen this before on pipeline projects. When the numbers don't match, someone's got their hand in the till. I sent a certified letter requesting financial statements, bank records, meeting minutes. In Arizona, HOAs have 10 business days to respond. I remembered reading that when I was house shopping, thought it seemed reasonable. Basic transparency. Day 11, silence. Day 15, email from Patricia. Your request is being processed. $50 processing fee required. Something nagged at me. I pulled up that statute again. No processing fees allowed for financial records. The law is pretty clear about it. I replied with the statute citation. Her response, under 5 minutes. Your interpretation is incorrect. Fee stands. Records withheld until payment. I called Simone in Germany. 7 hours ahead, caught her at her desk in uniform, coffee mug visible on video. I'm surrounded by idiots. Dad, she's violating state law and betting you won't fight. Want me to draft something official? You'd do that? She's messing with my dad. Yeah, I'll do that. 3 days later, FedEx delivered a letter to Patricia's house. Law offices of Simone Hollins, Captain, USAF JAG Corps, military letterhead, the kind that makes people nervous. Demanded immediate records, cease retaliatory fines, written apology, 72 hours, or legal action. I expected compliance, maybe an angry phone call. Instead, Patricia went nuclear. Emergency board meeting, 48 hours notice. Wednesday, 2:00 p.m., when everyone works. Agenda, discussion of member Garrett Hollins' violations and potential suspension of privileges. 11 homeowners made it. I brought Rochelle, recorded everything on my phone. Arizona doesn't require two-party consent for recordings, something I'd looked up after the first violation letter, just in case. Patricia stood at the front of the clubhouse, sunglasses pushed up on her head, arms crossed. The room smelled like old carpet and artificial pine from those plug-in air fresheners that never quite work. She presented her case: harassment of board president, frivolous legal threats, organizing dissent via unauthorized communications. She actually said that, like we were staging a coup. Her proposal: suspend pool and clubhouse access, double all current fines, place lien if unpaid within 30 days. Any discussion? She asked the board. Shelley and Carmela, her 2 friends, sat silent. All in favor? 3 hands. 3. Patricia's, Shelley's, Carmela's. Motion carries. She smiled at me. Meeting adjourned. Rochelle grabbed my arm as we left. She just made a massive mistake. How? She won. She violated open meeting laws by rushing the notice. She retaliated against you for a legal records request, and she did it all on tape. Rochelle's eyes gleamed. Dad, she just handed us ammunition. That night, Darnell pulled me aside in the parking lot. My buddy Clayton works at the county recorder's office. You want to dig into property records, liens, sales, transfers? He can point you to public stuff. Might be interesting to see what Patricia and Eugene have been up to. He handed me a business card. Cheap cardstock, slightly oily, smelled like old filing cabinets and government offices. That Saturday, Rochelle and I drove to the county recorder's office. Gray concrete building, fluorescent lights buzzing like dying insects, the kind of place where hope goes to file paperwork and never returns. We searched public records for Patricia and Eugene Vance. What we found made my pulse spike. Their home, purchased 2009 for $385K, currently worth maybe $520K, but carrying 2 liens totaling $89K, Wells Fargo HELOC, and Sunset Credit Solutions, a collections agency. Eugene's commercial properties, 3 strip malls bought peak 2007, all underwater, worth less than the mortgages bleeding him dry. Then the HOA records. 8 properties with liens placed in 18 months. Unpaid fines from $1,200 to $4,800. 2 homes actually foreclosed by the HOA, something I didn't know was even legal until I saw the documents. Rochelle asked the clerk who bought those foreclosed homes. He clicked through screens. VPS Holdings, LLC, purchased for $120K and $140K, resold within 6 months for $480K and $510K. She leaned forward. Who owns VPS Holdings? More clicking. Registered agent, Eugene Vance. We sat in my truck afterward, heat turning it into an oven, documents spread across the dashboard. They're running a scam, Rochelle said quietly. Patricia buries homeowners in fines, forecloses through the HOA, Eugene's company buys cheap, flips for massive profit. It's elegant and completely illegal. I thought about the $47,000 in collected fines, the missing reserve funds, Sunset Credit Solutions lien on their personal house. She's using HOA money to pay their personal debts. Rochelle nodded. That's embezzlement. Felony charges if we prove the money trail, but we need those financial records she won't release. First, though, I had a trash can problem to solve. 28 years designing fail-safe pipeline systems taught me one thing. The best traps look exactly like what they're supposed to be. Sunday afternoon, Darnell helped me dig a 3-foot hole next to my driveway. The caliche layer, rock-hard Arizona clay, fought us every inch, pickaxes ringing off stone, the sound echoing down the quiet street. Sweat and dust coated our arms. Even Darnell's Old Spice couldn't mask the smell of dirt and labor. We poured a 250-pound concrete pier, sank it deep, bolted a trash bin on top that looked identical to my old one. Then I installed a second hidden camera, fake sprinkler head, wide angle, infrared, motion-activated spotlight, audio recording. The final touch, a trash bag rigged with organic holy powder, the colored cornstarch stuff they sell at Target for kids' parties. Purple, Patricia's signature color. Pressure triggered to explode when the bin moved. Darnell wiped his face, laughing. You're booby-trapping a trash can? I grinned. I'm conducting a field test. Tuesday, 6:47 a.m., perfection. Patricia approached on foot. She'd started parking around corners now, getting careful. Powder blue velour today. She did her theatrical look around, strutted to my bin, kicked it hard. Nothing. The bin didn't budge. Confusion flickered across her face. She kicked again, harder, limped slightly after. Then she bent down to push it. Motion sensor triggered. Spotlight flooded her. Air horn blared. I'd added that finishing touch because engineers have a sense of humor. Purple powder exploded across her white tracksuit and face like a paint bomb. She screamed, stumbled backward onto my grass, coughing and covered in purple, then ran to her car looking like a rejected Barney character. All captured in glorious 4K video, audio, timestamp, GPS. I posted a 45-second clip to the Facebook group. When petty tyrants meet basic physics, no bylaws violated. She trespassed to commit vandalism. Again. The group exploded. 140 comments in 2 hours. Members shared it despite privacy settings. Phoenix Neighborhood Watch picked it up. HOA president caught in bizarre trash can incident. Small mention in the Arizona Republic Online. Patricia went nuclear the next day. Email blast to all 340 homeowners. Subject, dangerous booby trap safety alert. She claimed I'd installed a hazardous device that could injure children, called the powder an unknown chemical substance, potential biohazard, demanded $5,000 fine plus immediate removal plus reimbursement for her urgent care copay, threatened foreclosure within 7 days. The Facebook group hit 127 members overnight. Next board meeting, 15 people showed up, unprecedented. They demanded answers about selective enforcement, missing financial records, trash can vandalism. Patricia exploded. I don't have to explain myself to people who don't understand how communities work. If you don't like it, run against me. Oh wait, you won't because you're too lazy. Meeting adjourned, she stormed out, Shelley and Carmela trailing behind like confused ducklings. That night, 3 phone calls changed everything. Tamara Ochoa. I'm an accountant. Let me audit whatever records you get. Brian Whitmore. I'll organize the recall petition. I know everyone. Darnell at my door. I'll canvass door to door. People trust me. We had a coalition now, the Pine Haven Accountability Committee. Then Patricia filed a police report. Assault with hazardous substance, harassment, cyberbullying. Officer Gutierrez reviewed the footage and my Amazon receipt for food-safe cornstarch powder. She trespassed. You defended property. If anything, you could press charges. I shook my head. I want the corruption exposed, not trash can revenge. 3 days later, certified letter arrived. Sanderson and Briggs law firm representing Patricia. Cease and desist, remove videos, pay $5,000 or face $50,000 lawsuit. I called Simone. She laughed darkly. That's a slap. They're trying to silence you with legal intimidation. Arizona has protections against that. I'll handle it. Tamara showed up Sunday morning with a laptop and the expression of a woman who'd found religion in a spreadsheet. I'd finally gotten partial HOA financial records, heavily redacted, grudgingly released after Simone's demand letter, and Patricia had blacked out entries like she was running CIA Black Ops. Tamara spread printouts across my dining table, grabbed a yellow highlighter, went to work, coffee cooling beside her, the sharp smell of printer toner filling the room, Sunday quiet, except for her occasional gasp when numbers didn't add up. Income over 2 years, she said, fingers flying over keys. 340 homes, $285 monthly, 24 months. That's $1.16 million. Plus fines we documented about $63,000. Total, $1.223 million. She highlighted a column. Documented expenses, landscaping, pool service, insurance, $890,000. Standard. She looked up. That leaves $333,000 missing. $333,000. Gone. I felt my chest tighten. Reserves? She shook her head. Reserve account shows $50,000, but look here. Quarterly payments to Vance Property Solutions, Eugene's company. $8,500 every 3 months for management services. Patricia supposedly volunteers. What services cost $68,000? She flipped pages faster now, hunting. And these, 3 huge payments to Sunset Credit Solutions. $25,000, $30,000, $22,000. That's the collections agency with a lien on their house. The room felt smaller suddenly. She's paying her personal debts with HOA money. Tamara's voice went quiet. That's embezzlement. Money held in trust used for personal benefit. Felony theft. Prison time if we prove it. Rochelle arrived an hour later, folder thick with county recorder documents. She laid foreclosure records beside Tamara's analysis. The Kowalskis and Patels, both foreclosed by the HOA, both bought by VPS Holdings, Eugene's shell company. He paid $120,000 and $140,000, flipped them for $480,000 and $510,000 6 months later. Profit, roughly $600,000. She traced the timeline with her finger. It's a pattern. Patricia targets someone, drowns them in fines they can't pay, forecloses through the HOA, Eugene buys cheap, flips expensive, they split the profit. I thought about Mrs. Kapoor's tears, the Fenstermacher's lien, Darnell's flag sticker. She picks vulnerable people, newcomers who don't know the system, minorities, elderly, anyone afraid to fight. Rochelle's jaw tightened. It's predatory. Probably violates fair housing laws too. Silence settled over us. 3 people at a dining table with cold coffee and devastating evidence. Outside, a neighbor's sprinklers hissed to life. Normal Sunday sounds in a neighborhood being quietly robbed. Tamara spoke first. This is enough for the Attorney General, county prosecutors, maybe FBI if wire transfers crossed state lines. I stared at the documents, thinking of Patricia's smile kicking my trash can, her afternoon wine glass, her contempt. If we just hand this to authorities, she'll call it a witch hunt, claim we made it up, drag it through courts for years while she's still president, ruining lives. Rochelle leaned forward. You want to go public first. I nodded. Annual meeting is 3 weeks out. Biggest homeowner gathering all year. We present evidence publicly, force a no-confidence vote, then give everything to prosecutors with the whole community watching. Darnell walked in. I'd given him a key after the coalition formed, carrying donuts and that unshakable smile. We doing this? I looked at them. 3 people who were strangers 90 days ago, now ready to fight because a woman kicked my trash can and we found an empire of corruption underneath. Yeah, I said. But if we're doing this, we do it right. We need every homeowner to see what she's done. We need it airtight. And we need her to have no escape. Rochelle smiled, the dangerous kind. Then we better get to work. Outside, Patricia's white Lexus drove past on morning patrol, the crunch of gravel under tires, hunting for her next victim. She had no idea the trap was already closing. My garage became war room central. Whiteboards covered one wall, timelines, task lists, evidence categories color-coded like a murder investigation. Which, in a way, it was. Murder of Patricia's HOA dictatorship. The core team assembled over 3 days. Me, Rochelle, Simone, via video from Germany, Tamara, Darnell, Brian the plumber, and a new recruit, Lisa Tran, elementary school teacher, tech-savvy, volunteered after seeing the purple powder video. 7 people who'd had enough. First priority, lock down the annual meeting. Brian pulled up the bylaws on his phone, reading while we ate pizza around my dining table, grease staining the printed evidence packets. Annual meeting has to happen. Dates already published, 30-day notice already given. Patricia can't cancel without violating bylaws. I'd already submitted my agenda item, certified mail, 21 days before the meeting, exactly as required. Financial review presentation by homeowner committee. Patricia tried rejecting it. Rochelle sent a letter explaining that rejection would invalidate any decisions made at the meeting, opening the board to personal liability. Patricia backed down. She had no choice, and that must have killed her. Second priority, the recall petition. Arizona law lets homeowners recall board members with 25% of total household signing. We needed 85 signatures out of 340 homes. Current count, 64. 3 weeks to get 21 more. Darnell and Brian went door to door every evening, 6 to 8 p.m. when people were home from work. Their strategy was brilliant. Never lead with "sign this petition." Always start with, "Has the HOA treated you fairly?" The stories poured out. Elderly Mrs. Kapoor fined for her xeriscaped garden that Patricia called ethnic. Young couple Javier and Sophia cited for excessive noise, their newborn crying at night. Patricia actually wrote them up for not controlling the child. Veteran Curtis Boyle fined for flying a POWMIA flag below his American flag on his own pole. Patricia said only approved flags allowed, whatever that meant. Each story added a signature. By day 14, 92 signatures. We'd overshot the target. Third priority, the presentation. Lisa worked magic. 20-minute PowerPoint, visual and devastating. Slide 1, Pinehaven HOA Financial Accountability Review. Professional, unthreatening. Slides 2 through 5, what homeowners pay versus what they should receive. Charts showing the gap. Slides 6 through 10, the missing $333,000. Money flow visualized with arrows pointing from HOA accounts to Sunset Credit Solutions to Patricia's personal debt. Slides 11 through 14. The foreclosure scheme, before and after property values, profits calculated to the dollar. Slides 15 through 18. Victim testimonies, photos of the Kowalskis and Patels, written statements from families driven out. Slide 19. 8 Arizona statutes violated, listed simply without legal jargon. Slide 20. What we're asking: immediate board resignation, forensic audit, recall election, restitution to victims. Clean, professional, damning. Brian rented a professional projector and screen, tested the setup secretly in the clubhouse using a buddy's key. We anticipated Patricia's counter moves like chess players. If she tried shutting down the presentation, Rochelle would invoke parliamentary procedure. She'd memorized Robert's Rules of Order, could cite chapter and verse. If Patricia stormed out or tried ending the meeting early, we had commitments from 80-plus homeowners to stay. Quorum would hold even if the board left. If she claimed defamation, every statement in our presentation was documented fact from public records or first-hand testimony. If she called police to remove disruptors, Officer Gutierrez already knew what we were doing and confirmed homeowners had legal rights to conduct meetings per bylaws. If she locked the clubhouse or changed the locks, Darnell's church had offered their community center 5 minutes away, and Brian had a robocall system ready to redirect everyone. We practiced the presentation 3 times. Once with just the core team, too technical, too much jargon. Once with volunteer homeowners who gave feedback, needs more emotion, less accounting speak. Once timed perfectly at 19 minutes. Tamara rehearsed explaining embezzlement in plain English. Imagine giving your neighbor $20 to buy groceries for you, and they use 10 of your dollars to pay their own credit card. That's what happened here, times 33,000. Simple, clear, devastating. We assembled evidence packets, 150 total, one per expected household plus extras. Each packet, 4-page executive summary, key financial charts, victim testimonials, copy of the recall petition with instructions, contact information for the county attorney and attorney general. Brian splurged on color printing at Costco, $240, worth every penny. The night before the meeting, we gathered in my garage doing final checks. Equipment, projector, laptop, backup laptop, extension cords, portable speaker, evidence, boxed, labeled, ready. The air smelled like dry erase markers and nervous energy. Lisa's lavender hand lotion. She rubbed her hands when stressed. Darnell's Old Spice mixing with garage dust. My ancient refrigerator humming its death rattle in the corner. Around 10 p.m., everyone left. I sat alone staring at boxes of evidence, exhausted, wired, terrified. Picked up the photo from my workbench. Melissa at the Grand Canyon, bald from chemo, still smiling. She'd written on back, "Don't let the bastards grind you down." I whispered to the empty garage, "We won't, babe. I promise." Saturday morning, 48 hours before the meeting, I woke to 17 texts. Check next door now. Patricia posted at 3 a.m., drunk or panicking or both. Warning, Garrett Hollins spreading false information about HOA finances. No authorization to review private documents, allegations defamatory and criminal. He has history of mental instability, recent widower, grief counseling, do not trust. Board contacted attorneys. Anyone participating could be liable for defamation. She disclosed my grief counseling, violated medical privacy, but that was minor compared to what came next. Post had 40 replies, neighborhood divided, most defending me. By noon, Patricia escalated to full doxing. Posted in 3 Facebook groups. My full name, address, phone number, house photo, captioned, "This man harassing your board." My phone started ringing, anonymous texts threatening, "Back off or regret it," late night hang-ups. Sunday 4 a.m., someone egged my truck. Ring camera caught shadow, no clear face, timing suspicious. Then Darnell called, voice shaking. "Man, someone spray-painted my garage red," says traitor. "They stole my flag, burned it in my driveway, left ashes." His voice hardened. I knew she was nasty, but terrorism? This proves we're right. Scared people do desperate things. We don't stop. Monday morning, 36 hours before meeting, Brian called from clubhouse parking lot, frustrated. "Locks changed. My key doesn't work. Sign says facility closed for emergency repairs. Meeting relocated. Details to follow." No email, no details. Patricia's obvious play: deny access, claim maintenance, relocate somewhere she controlled, limit attendance. We activated backup immediately. Darnell's Church Community Center, free, seats 150, full AV. Rochelle filed formal bylaw notice. Homeowners exercising right to alternate location due to board facility closure. Brian printed neon flyers within 2 hours. HOA annual meeting, new location, with address and map. 12 volunteers papered 300 mailboxes by afternoon. Lisa email blasted Facebook group. I stood at neighborhood entrance during evening commute, 5 to 7 p.m., holding sign, drivers honking support. Monday evening, 7:30, Patricia drove through ripping down flyers. Multiple Ring cameras caught her. At Javier and Sophia's house, audio captured her screaming, "You people destroying this community. I've given 9 years. Ungrateful." Sophia, holding infant, responded calmly, "We just want to see where money's going." Patricia shrieked, "Your money? It's HOA money. I decide how it's spent. That's what president means." Video hit Facebook within hours, shared 150 times, mask fully off. Monday night, 9 p.m., knock on my door. Eugene Vance stood there, expensive suit, nervous energy radiating. "Garrett, can we talk? Man to man?" I recorded on phone in pocket, one-party consent legal. "Sure, Eugene, talk." He tried friendly. Patricia gets passionate. She's done great things. Property values are up. I cut him off. "Because you've been buying foreclosed homes cheap, flipping them." He paused, recalculating. "That's legal business. No laws broken." I kept voice level. "Using HOA funds for personal debts is embezzlement. Foreclosing on fake violations so you can buy houses is fraud." He dropped friendliness. "You don't understand the full picture." I stepped closer. "Explain it tomorrow, publicly, in front of everyone." His voice went cold. "If you do this, we'll sue for everything. We have real attorneys. How much did your wife's cancer cost? You want 6-figure lawsuit on top?" Mentioning Melissa sent ice through my veins. I spoke slowly, clearly. "My wife taught me during 2 years fighting cancer. You don't negotiate with bullies. Get off my property." His hands shook walking away. Tuesday morning, 6 a.m., meeting day, dead rat on my doorstep. Note in block letters. Rats get exterminated. That crossed every line. Called Officer Gutierrez, filed report, bagged evidence. He arranged extra patrol, promised officer at meeting. By 3 p.m., core team gathered community center for final setup. 150 church chairs in rows, projector mounted, screen tested, sound checked, evidence packets stacked at front table. Late afternoon sun through high windows, dust floating lazy, everything ready. Tamara's hands trembled, loading presentation. I steadied her shoulder. Just explain it like tax returns. Numbers don't lie. Darnell led prayer circle. I'm not religious, but participated because sometimes you need every bit of help available. 6 p.m., 1 hour before, I sat alone in truck, parking lot empty, texted Simone in Germany. It's happening, wish you were here. Her reply, instant. I'm here in spirit. Dad, you've got this. Mom would be so proud. Give them absolute hell. I thought about Melissa fighting cancer without complaint, about Mrs. Kapoor crying over marigolds, Fenstermachers nearly losing their home, Kowalski's forced out. Thought about Patricia's smile kicking my trash can, her 3 p.m. wine glass, her contempt for everyone. I was ready. We were all ready. Tonight, the tyranny ended. 6:30 p.m., homeowners arrived in waves. By 6:50, 94 people filled the community center, quadruple the typical turnout. Folding chairs scraped linoleum, nervous conversations echoing off cinder block walls. Patricia arrived at 6:55 with Shelley and Carmela. She froze in the doorway, seeing the crowd, me at the front table, evidence packets everywhere, projector ready. Her face drained of color. She walked to the front row stiffly, sat, crossed her arms, whispered to Shelley loud enough for 3 rows to hear, "This is a hijacked meeting." Rochelle stood immediately. Meeting was properly noticed per bylaws. Quorum present. Proper procedure followed. Let's begin. 7 p.m. sharp, I called it to order. Thank you all for coming. We'll follow Robert's rules. First item, approval of last year's minutes. Procedural votes moved fast. Minutes, agenda, officer reports. Patricia objected to everything, citing fake technicalities. Rochelle shut her down each time with bylaw citations, cold and precise. Officer Gutierrez stood in back, uniform visible, silent deterrent. Marcus Lowry from the Arizona Republic sat opposite corner, notebook open. Financial report next. Patricia stood reluctantly, pulled up vague numbers on her phone. Income $1.1 million, expenses $1.05 million, reserves $50,000, everything's fine. Questions? Tamara's hand shot up. Explain the $85,000 in consulting fees to Vance Property Solutions. Patricia forced a smile. Management services, standard practice. Tamara leaned forward. You're self-managed. What services? Patricia's voice went ice. Proprietary information. Rochelle stood. Arizona statute requires disclosure of all expenditures. Refusal violates fiduciary duty. Murmurs spread through the room, Patricia's face reddening. I move for the homeowner presentation. 87 hands went up. Motion carries. Patricia jumped up, chair scraping. This is a kangaroo court. I'm leaving. Rochelle cut through. If you leave, we continue. Your absence goes in the minutes. Patricia sat hard, trapped. Lights dimmed. Projector lit the screen. Tamara walked forward, clicked to slide 1. Pages rustled as homeowners opened packets. Slides 2 through 5 showed the gap. Income versus expenses. $333,000 missing in stark red. Gasps rippled through the room. Slide 6. Money flow from HOA to Sunset Credit Solutions. This isn't fees, Tamara said calmly. This is your money paying Patricia's personal debt. Patricia shot up. Lies! No proof. Tamara pointed to packets. Page 8. Bank statements. Routing numbers match. Public records show Sunset holds an $89,000 lien on Patricia's house. Same entity. Your dues paid their bills. Silence. Heavy. Damning. Slides 11 through 14 broke hearts. Photos of Kowalski and Patel families. Timeline of fines, foreclosure documents. VPS Holdings, Eugene's company, buying for $120,000 and $140,000, flipping for $480,000 and $510,000. Brian presented, voice steady. She buried these families in fines, foreclosed, her husband bought cheap, flipped for profit, over $600,000 while families lost homes. Eugene appeared at the back, when, shouting, defamation, we'll sue everyone. I stood slowly. Everything here is documented public record. Review the citations. He stormed out, door slamming. Mrs. Kapoor walked to front, 73, trembling, traditional dress. She called my garden ethnic. Fined me $600. I'm on Social Security. I chose medicine over paying. She put a lien on my house. I almost lost everything for planting my mother's marigolds. People cried. Patricia stared at the floor. Curtis spoke next. Veteran, gravelly voice. 22 years serving this country. She fined me for honoring POWMIA. What kind of American does that? Standing ovation erupted. Everyone standing except Patricia, Shelley, Carmela, isolated, exposed. Rochelle presented slide 19, 8 violated statutes, embezzlement, fraud, disclosure violations, conflict of interest, self-dealing, improper liens, retaliatory fining, record failures. Some are felonies carrying prison time. Evidence goes to authorities tomorrow. Patricia stood, shaking. You have no idea what I've done. Property values were $320,000, now $515,000. You should thank me. Darnell rose, voice carrying authority. You just confessed. You inflated values by forcing people out, flipping their homes. Families lost everything while you profited. Patricia's voice cracked. They violated rules. I stood, every ounce of 3 months' fury compressed into calm words. You kicked my trash can for 3 months because you're petty. You vandalized. You extorted. You stole. And tonight it ends. Time for the recall vote. Paper ballots distributed, counted under witness. Results read aloud, 89 yes, 3 no, Patricia, Shelley, Carmela, 2 abstain. Motion carries, current board removed effective immediately per bylaws. Patricia stood frozen, disbelief washing over her, then rage, then something like fear. She walked out without a word, Shelley and Carmela scrambling after her. The Lexus peeled out of the parking lot, tires squealing, fleeing the scene of her own downfall. The room exhaled collectively. Then someone started clapping. Then another. Then everyone standing, applauding not me but themselves, their courage, their refusal to stay silent. Officer Gutierrez nodded approval. Marcus scribbled furiously. And I stood there thinking, Melissa, we did it. Not just me, all of us. Wednesday morning, 9 a.m., Patricia filed emergency injunction. Claims. Illegal meeting. Procedural violations. Conspiracy to defame. Requests. Void recall. Restraining order. Damages. Her attorney, Donald Sanderson, same firm from the cease and desist. Hearing set 2 p.m. same day. Judge wanted quick resolution. We attended. Me, Rochelle, Tamara, Darnell. Simone coached from Germany via phone. Patricia arrived with Eugene, Sanderson, Shelley, Carmela. Gallery packed. 30 homeowners took off work. Judge Rebecca Thornton presiding. 50s, no-nonsense reputation, hated frivolous cases. Sanderson presented first. Meeting hijacked, procedures violated, defamatory statements destroyed client's reputation. Showed Facebook posts, news articles, Nextdoor threads, financial information stolen, presentation false, recall invalid, improper notice, requested, void vote, $50,000 damages, restraining order. Patricia dabbed tissues, playing victim, business suit replacing velour, fresh highlights, complete image makeover. Rochelle countered methodically, meeting notice, certified mail receipts, 30-plus days, bylaw compliant, agenda approval, Patricia's email confirming it, financial records, legally requested under Arizona statute. Patricia's refusal was the violation. Public records, county recorder documents, nothing stolen, recall vote, exact bylaw procedure, quorum present, ballots preserved. Full audio-video recording showed 0 violations. Judge Thornton reviewed evidence, addressed Patricia directly. Mrs. Vance, financial records show HOA payments to Sunset Credit Solutions, which holds a lien on your personal residence. Correct? Patricia stammered. Legitimate management fees. Judge leaned forward. What services specifically? Patricia's mask slipped. General management, contractors, administrative duties. Judge's eyes narrowed. You're president. You manage it. Who received these fees? Silence. Patricia went pale. Various vendors. It's complicated. Judge set her glasses down. Mrs. Vance, these payments went to your creditor, not a vendor. Personal benefit from trust funds. Eugene shifted uncomfortably. Sanderson whispered urgently. Judge Thornton read her decision. No procedural violations found. Homeowners followed bylaws more carefully than most boards follow their own rules. Financial evidence appears valid, sourced from public records and legally requested documents. Shows serious impropriety warranting investigation. Defamation claims fail. Truth is absolute defense. Statements are documented. Injunction denied. Recall stands. HOA must produce complete unredacted records within 10 days for court review. Mrs. Vance, retain criminal counsel. I'm forwarding this to county attorney. Gavel fell. Patricia collapsed into her chair. Outside, media swarmed. Marcus Lowry interviewed me on courthouse steps, TV cameras rolling. Mr. Hollins, what message do you have? I looked at the camera. HOAs serve homeowners, not exploit them. If your board won't show where money goes, ask why. Fight back legally, peacefully, but fight. Silence becomes permission. Permission becomes theft. Clip aired local news 5 and 10 p.m., went viral online. Suddenly I'm HOA hero guy. Ridiculous, but effective. Post-hearing, Rochelle couriered 3 complaints. Arizona Attorney General, HOA fraud, embezzlement. County Attorney, theft, conspiracy. Department of Real Estate, Eugene's license violations. Each included 200-page evidence binders, testimonies, analysis, transcripts. Patricia's world imploded fast. Friday, County Attorney opened investigation. Monday, FBI involved. Wire fraud, payments cross state lines. Eugene's license, emergency suspension. 2 strip malls, foreclosure notices filed, legal defense, expensive attorneys burning savings. 2 weeks later, house listed for sale, needed legal fee cash. No offers, story spread, property tainted, community transformed. Patricia became pariah. Former friends crossed streets avoiding her. Shelley and Carmela resigned, eventually testified against her for immunity. Ultimate betrayal. Emergency interim board elected, me president, Tamara treasurer, Darnell VP, 3 others. First act, forensic audit hired. Second, reversed illegitimate fines. Refunded 34 households $12,400 total. Third, removed Fenstermacher lien. Elderly couple cried, hugged everyone. Fourth, civil suit filed for full restitution plus damages. 6 months later, legal outcomes solidified. Patricia pled guilty. 3 counts embezzlement, 2 counts fraud. Sentence, 18 months prison, 5 years probation, $333,000 restitution plus $50,000 fines. Assets liquidated, house sold short for $480,000, barely covered mortgage. Eugene pled guilty, conspiracy, real estate fraud, 12 months home detention, license permanently revoked, $200,000 restitution. Lost all 3 strip malls to foreclosure. Kowalski and Patel families. Restitution paid, $150,000 each, enough for new home down payments elsewhere. HOA civil suit settled. Vances paid additional $125,000 to reserve fund. New board implemented radical transparency. Monthly financial reports online, accessible to all. Board meetings moved 6:30 p.m. for working families. Quarterly town halls, no agenda limits. Fines reduced 70%, education over punishment. Dues temporarily dropped to $225 monthly from surplus recovery. Community pool renovated with recovered embezzlement funds. Common areas, new drought-tolerant landscaping, Mrs. Kapoor consulted. Her ethnic garden became model. Patricia served her time in minimum security. Released after 14 months, good behavior. Eugene lived alone in rental apartment, marriage over, career destroyed. Neither returned to Pine Haven. Last I heard, they'd moved to Nevada, separate addresses, broke and broken. Spring evening, 9 months post-meeting, I sat on my porch, coffee at dawn, watching Darnell walk past with his dog, Mrs. Kapoor tending marigolds, Javier and Sophia pushing their stroller, kids playing basketball across the street, no complaints, creosote smell after rare rain, Melissa's favorite scent. I pulled her photo from my pocket, Grand Canyon, bald from chemo, smiling, her note, "Don't let the bastards grind you down." Mission accomplished, babe. 6 months after the courtroom victory, legal outcomes solidified into permanent consequences. Patricia Vance pled guilty to 3 counts embezzlement and 2 counts fraud. Sentence, 18 months minimum security prison, 5 years probation, $333,000 restitution, plus $50,000 in fines and penalties. She served 14 months with good behavior, released to a Nevada rental apartment, broke and alone. Eugene pled guilty to conspiracy and real estate fraud, received 12 months home detention, real estate license permanently revoked, $200,000 restitution ordered. He lost all 3 strip malls to foreclosure, marriage dissolved, moved to separate address in Nevada. They never returned to Pine Haven. The Kowalski and Patel families each received $150,000 restitution, enough for down payments on new homes in different neighborhoods where HOA presidents don't weaponize bylaws. Our civil suit against the Vances settled for additional $125,000 paid into HOA reserve fund, finally properly funded after years of theft. But legal justice was just the beginning. Real healing transformed our community into what HOAs should be. New board implemented radical transparency, monthly financial reports posted online, every homeowner accessing every transaction, every dollar accounted for with vendor receipts attached. Board meetings moved to 6:30 p.m. so working families could attend instead of Patricia's 2 p.m. exclusionary tactic. Quarterly town halls with no agenda limits, open microphone, actual democracy. Fines reduced 70%. Focus shifted from punishment to education. First response became friendly reminder and offer to help, not threats and liens. Monthly dues temporarily dropped to $225 from recovered surplus, then stabilized at $250 with full community input on budget priorities. Community pool renovated using embezzled funds we recovered, new pump, resurfaced, LED lights, became neighborhood gathering spot again. Common areas got drought-tolerant landscaping. Mrs. Kapoor consulted as expert. Her ethnic garden style became community standard, beautiful and water efficient. We established the Melissa Hollins Memorial Scholarship funded by portion of restitution, annual bake sales, homeowner donations, awards $2,000 yearly to local students pursuing healthcare careers, honoring my wife's belief in helping others even while fighting cancer. First recipient, Sophia and Javier's neighbor's daughter wanting to become oncology nurse. Ceremony at community center, 70 people attending. I presented check with voice cracking saying, "My wife believed healing happens through helping others. This is her legacy continuing." Personal healing meant finding purpose beyond grief. I became HOA reform advocate, testified before Arizona State Legislature, shared our complete story, showed the evidence, explained how one woman's corruption destroyed families while enriching herself. Lawmakers listened, really listened. Result, Homeowner Protection Act passed unanimously. Media nicknamed it Garrett's Law. Mandates annual independent audits for HOAs over 100 homes, requires online financial transparency, limits fine amounts and foreclosure procedures, creates state oversight board for homeowner complaints. 12 other states now considering similar legislation. I launched HOA Advocates LLC, consulting business helping homeowners nationwide fight corrupt boards. Website went viral after Arizona Republic feature article. First month, 300 emails from across America. Same stories, same pain, same petty tyrants drunk on tiny power. Hired Rochelle Partner, Tamara Financial Consultant, Darnell Community Organizing Volunteer. Business runs not-for-profit focused, measuring impact differently. First year removed 23 corrupt boards, recovered $4.2 million for homeowners, saved hundreds of families from foreclosure. Spring evening 1 year post-meeting, neighborhood through first block party in 5 years. Patricia had banned them, claimed liability concerns, really just hated joy. Grills smoking mesquite, kids playing basketball, music drifting, potluck tables overflowing. Mrs. Kapoor's samosas disappeared in minutes. Curtis raised American flag and POW/MIA flag together on community pole. New policy celebrating patriotism, everyone saluting as colors climbed into sunset. That night on my porch, stars emerging fierce and bright, I recorded video for HOA Advocates YouTube channel, 40,000 subscribers strong. Year ago tonight, I exposed corruption that stole $333,000. Patricia Vance kicked my trash can 17 times thinking I'd move quietly. She fought an engineer who documents everything, a community tired of tyranny, and a dead wife who taught me never to let bastards grind you down. If you're an HOA nightmare, drop your story in comments. Craziest one gets featured next week. Hit subscribe. Next story involves Florida president stealing mail, FBI postal inspectors, unbelievable footage. Don't fight alone. I looked at Melissa's photo. Grand Canyon, bald, smiling. We did good, babe. Tuesday morning, 6:47 a.m. My trash can sat undisturbed, sun painting desert gold. Trash truck rumbled past. Driver Marco honked, waved. No attacks, no fear. Just peaceful Tuesday in a neighborhood remembering community. The bastards didn't grind us down. We ground them to dust instead.